Welcome to the Demo Days. Great to have you with us. Thanks for watching. Those who have been following us earlier this morning, they know already Aebi Schmidt. If you count the years of experience of our meanwhile 10 brands in the group, you reach a number which is higher than 1,400 years. The origin of our products lies back in the year 1857. Aebi was founded in 1883, hence will soon celebrating its 140th birthday. Today, the Aebi Schmidt Group is a global player, manufactures in 14 plants around the globe, and has around 3,000 employees. We are driven day in, day out to develop reliable and intelligent solutions together with a first-class service, ultimately to enable our customers, hopefully you at the screens, to optimize their performance. With Aebi, by the way, not only in the Alps, but also in South America, here in Central Europe, down in New Zealand, Australia, and also in Canada and many other places. And the outcome of the ambition we'd like to present to you now. In the next 30 minutes, you will learn about how to use an Aebi to perform your municipal operations even more flexibly and certainly more economically. Before I hand over to my colleagues, one note: if you want to ask us a question, of course you can do so. At the bottom of your video screen you find a speech bubble. Click on it, post your questions. We'll try to answer it live during the session, and if not, we'll definitely answer you bilaterally after the event. So much for the introduction. Next to me there is Peter Brunner, Product Manager for Aebi, and Philipp Hohl, Head Sales Aebi Global. Now I get it. Philipp, the Aebi VT450 was for a long time said it's the king of the kings. So I think you're going to tell us something about the Emperor now. Am I right?
Thank you very much for the introduction and also warm welcome from my side. Yes, of course, we go on with the VT470 Vario straight ahead. So we are a solution provider and we show you now exactly what we improved on the machine. So the VT470 Vario was also before the machines of the machine, the king of the slopes. It was also Tractor of the Year in 2012. And now we have the new model here on stage and we call it is the strongest, the cleanest, the most efficient, and as well also the most convenient and safest transporter on the market.
That's a great introduction for our VT470. Thank you very much, Philipp. But just tell me, what do you mean exactly by speaking of efficiency?
Yeah, efficiency is always a word we are using in the market, especially in sales side, but this is really now a big increase what we achieved with the machine. So we have here now 20% more power on the machine. In addition, we have less full consumption on the machine, and this is a word we have on efficiency in the end. So our customers, they can work more with the same unit, and it helps a lot also to save costs and fuels in the end on the machines.
Okay, so we have more power, we have less consumption. And how does this affect the emissions? Are they higher?
No. Yeah, they are higher, but in a good way higher. So we are working now with the new engine from VM. We have a Euro 6E, so we did the step from Euro 6C directly to E. So we are now a state-of-the-art in Switzerland and in whole Europe, so we can have homologations all around. And we are filling off-road and on-road all the homologations you need.
So the clean solution for today and tomorrow. So what exactly is the engine power?
Yeah, the engine power, we have now 100 kilowatts, and this is something new also the transporters, so we had this big gap, and you feel it also. No? Our machines are working on steep slopes, and what you need also regarding the payload, maybe you ask me also the question about that, so then we see that we need much more power in the end also to perform bigger, because the customers, they want to have wider equipment in the end to work with it, to be also more efficient on the fields.
Okay, as you asked already for, I will ask now the question about the payload and how did the payload change with the model change?
Yeah, this was an increase by 500 kilograms on the machine. So you see here now also the hay loader in general what we have. So we have 500 kilograms more, meaning also we have here 500 kilograms more hay or also 500 kilograms more salt. So we can make longer turns for spreaders, for example, longer tours, or also for halo, what we show after to you. Do you see we can put quite a lot of stuff inside.
So great, another argument for being more efficient. You can work longer without deloading the machine. So another important point we always have, speaking of our municipal customers, is safety and comfort. Can you tell me something about that?
Yes, of course. Therefore, I take you along so we can have a little look inside about the safety. Safety has some aspects. One of sure we have the braking system, which was also changed now on the 10 tons model. In addition to this, we have here like patented system, the complete torsion damping of the central tube here in the middle. So it helps us on the steep slopes where we have conditions, where we have to put the weight from the back, where we can load almost 6 tons to the front to keep the steerings on the fields. And this is not only working like this, so we have here some pressure against it, that we have always a full contact with the tires on the ground.
So it's an active turning system, right?
Yes, exactly. And the other thing is, if you will be strong, so you can take the rear axle by 30 degrees on top, and so it's completely switchable from the front to from the rear to the front in the end.
That's a nice construction. Thank you for the detailed information. And what about comfort? Now we have talked about safety. The machine always sticks to the ground, which makes it very safe on steep slopes. And is there any compromise with comfort?
No, there are no compromises. So we are also working with the double wishbone system. I always compare it with Formula One. If they go on the curbs, you see how the wheels are going parallel up and down, and if the camera goes in the front, you see directly that the double wishbone system is active parallel up and down, so the tires have all the time the full contact on the surface. The other thing is also, if you have to change the tires, they look all the time the same. So it's not like you have another machines that here is get rid of, but this is one safety part, and also the comfort. So you can compare with a normal personal car. And then the other issue is also with transporters. You have the problem if the payload is very high, so that the suspension goes down and you don't have any comfort anymore. And now in this case, we have a pneumatic suspension system on the back, and we have all the time the full suspension travel on the machine. It doesn't matter how much payload you have on the backside.
Okay, active steering, active torsion damping system, and active chassis and suspension system. That's very nice. So I expect the driver to be very happy during his long days on the road. So this combination, especially now, we have a halo at the back and we have a mowing attachment at the front. So this isn't very common. I haven't seen it a lot on fields or on roads. Can you tell me something about this combination?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite things on the machine. So we have to see that we have more flexibility for the customers, and they can use only one machine to do actually 2 work steps in a row. And I'm pretty sure that in the future customers will looking forward for a combination like this. So this is like cut and collect at the same time. And in general, in the past we are using 2 machines, and now we have 1 machine for one issue, so just one to maintain. We have now also enough power to do it in the end, and I'm very proud to show you after how it works, and you will be very enthusiastic how it looks in the end.
Honestly, at the moment, it sounds quite a bit complicated to operate all those attachments and the machine. Is it really complicated, or how do you do it?
No, it's not complicated at all. So we have inside in the cabin, basically one switch is always the black one at Aebi. So we have all the time the same joystick. So we can use one button, it's the weight transfer. We put it down, we switch on the power hydraulics in the front, after the PTO on the back for the hay loader, and we can go forward.
So it's kind of smart working here.
Yes, we have smart workings here as well. So also one thing was all the time when I was using the machine, I felt, oh, I lift the front lifting unit up. After I have the problem, no, always steering is everything connected. I call it smart drives. We call it couplings in the end, but it helps a lot to make the work easier. What is also very important for us, the drivers are changing all the time.
Sounds great. So can we have a look at the machine in action?
Yes, of course. Peter, you hear already now that we are working here with a stepless transmission. So from say 0 to 7 km/h is purely hydrostatic drive. After we go in the power slip, power switch, to up to 50 kilometers per hour in the European Union. And that is what you hear. It's a planetary gear set on the machine, so it's a Vario transmission in the end.
So 50 kilometers per hour is just in the European Union, right?
Yeah, we can have also 40, 45, it doesn't matter, so it's electronically controlled.
Okay, that's also great. So.
Have a look now from the outside. So what we are doing now, first of all, we install ourselves on the field to make the preparation to get work. So you see already on the back, we put down the pickup to collect it in the end, and you hear already in the front that the mover is working over the power hydraulics. And now we cut it directly at the same time, and then on the other hand, we have then the collecting on the back.
So I see it's very dusty. I think these are very harsh conditions with some high and very dry crops and grass over there.
Yeah, we are currently here on the airport in Lahr, and this is one thing, is not, let's say it's not the standard Aebi conditions. We are king of the slopes and not king of the airports, but even here we can work. So you see we can work here. Also the grass is quite thick and very dry, but you see now also it's probably working here as well.
Okay, and now I think as soon as he operates now the mowing attachment at the front, the attachment, the halo at the back of the vehicle is automatically coming up, right?
Yes, exactly. This works completely automatically. So I lost a bit his range. He makes now the turn. So we have all-wheel steering. We have 5.70 m turning early and turning angle on the machine, and we can work very nice.
Very good. I think we just enjoy some seconds of the machine in action, and then we go on to the new MT, which is kind of faster brother of the MT. And yeah, we have it now in two different models. We have an MT760 and an MT770. The main difference between those two products are the maximum weight, which is like 6.5 tons on the 760 and 7.5 tons on the 770.
Yeah, then tell me a bit, what are the key features of the new machine?
And we have several key features of this machine. For example, the machine is very narrow, which means you can use it in narrow streets, in city centers, and so on. For the new model, for example, we completely switched to an LED lighting system, which means we have state-of-the-art lighting systems at the front and also on the top of the cabin. Those on the top of the cabin are especially for winter service, and therefore they're also heated, which is kind of unique on the market. But makes it very easy and very comfortable for doing winter service when you always have good lighting on the street, even if the conditions are very, very harsh. And furthermore, we introduced a new, let me just step aside, we introduced a new corrosion protection system to the chassis, as well as to the springs, to the leaf springs, which is specially for winter service. And another thing we have is the new leaf springs. They are two-staged, which means if the vehicle is empty, you have a very comfortable driving. And if the vehicle is fully loaded, you also have a very comfortable driving because of the two stages of the leaf springs.
Yeah, but what about the safety and the comfort on the machine? I see already you have here some things regarding the safety, yeah?
The MT is actually a very high-end product when it comes down to safety. We have tested the machine with several crash tests, so the safety of the driver is our highest priority. So we always have invested a lot of time and money into the service, into the safety of the vehicle.
And I guess here it's a category N2G truck, so probably you have also our ABS system now if you go on highways.
Absolutely, we have a fully working ABS system on the machine. We can run up to 89 kilometers per hour, so we never have any problems on the street, and we have also a very good acceleration behavior of the machine because of its four-wheel drive system and its differential lock systems on both axles. Perfect.
Then we have just quickly a view inside. Maybe we have also some smart work issues here where we can do the same as on the VT470 Vario. For example, in this combination with a plow in the front and a spreader in the back.
Absolutely. Since we are Aebi, we've put the same passion and the same intelligent solutions into our machines, no matter if it's a truck or if it's a tractor, which means we have the same joystick. So for the driver, it's very familiar if you have several machines from Aebi, and you can use Also the black button to just lower the plow into the weight transfer system. And if you're putting in the reverse gear, for example, the snowplow will automatically lift up, so you don't have to care about the front lifting unit. Just put in the reverse gear and drive backwards.
Yeah, perfect, perfect. I feel I want to see it now here on the stage on the airport. So we close the door, and Daniel can have a ride. And put some lights on, please.
Yeah, as you can hear now at the moment, this is a truck, as I mentioned before, and especially for a truck, for example, safety and comfort is very demanding issue, and trucks have to fulfill other regulations than tractors. So the MT is very, very low in noise, as you can hear or even not hear.
Yeah, and I think I don't know a product on the market with 7.5 tons and a width of 1.70 meters. This is correct, not?
Yeah, the MT is very unique when it comes down to his maneuverability and also his wideness of the cabin of the machine itself.
And is it then also possible to have on the back something else, and not instead of a tipper, for example, a superstructure?
Of course, yeah. You can order it from the factory directly with or without the tipper. And if you're ordering without the tipper, it makes it very good for other upfittings of the machine. You can have it as a fire truck, for example. You can have built on a gas tank. You can have no matter what.
So I see he's making already the reversal. The plow went up. Huh? This is working, and now it goes further on with the plow. All the different kind of positions you can add also over the hydraulic already from the machine. So the hydraulic is not coming from the plow at end. So you have the complete hydraulic system on the machine.
Exactly, and as you can see, we have very big screens in the front and also on the doors on the side, which makes the side of view very, very huge. And there's just nothing like to compare with the field of vision of an MT.
Yeah, now I hear the noise. Huh? There are 6 cylinders.
Absolutely, yeah.
In a row.
In a row.
Yeah.
Speaking about the engine, I nearly forgot to mention, we also made the step from Euro 6C to Euro 6E here, and which makes it also for very clean and a very good option for having an environmental friendly machine.
Yeah, but Peter, I have to tell you something. If I go on holidays, I like to hike. I see some other machines from Aebi which are very, very common in the Alps, and this is something else.
Of course, yes. It's in the Alps you won't see an MT, but you will see one of our TTs. We have actually 4 different models of a TT. This is our TT 211. The 4 different models mainly has a difference in engine power. So we have engine powers from 42 kilowatt up to 80 kilowatt. And it is so-called a 2-axle mower, which is very common to use it in the Alps to cutting grass, for example.
Yeah, and the specialty I think is also, if I look on it, the cabin is on the side and it's not on top like a normal tractor. And then also on the front lifting unit, I see some differences. So it goes very up, like in a nice move, so you have the nicer cut.
Exactly, yeah, it is like that. The cabin, for example, is on the side of the machine. On the other side is the engine. So you have both heavy components of the machine, like cabin and engine, on a position where it's very low. So the center of gravity of the machine is as low as it can be. So this makes it very easy to drive on steep slopes.
Perfect. So I think we should start also to see that machine together with the flail mover we have in front. So you can start the engine and go ahead to the other side. This is now a very common situation we have with the flail mover in the front. 2 meter, I think, huh?
Absolutely, yeah. It's 2 meter wide. And this is a very common solution we have for contractors, not only for farmers. And as you can see, or you have seen here, with the 4-wheel steering, the machine is very, very flexible and can turn around nearly every place.
I'm looking forward now how it looks.
Yeah, it's beginning to rain, so maybe we have a little less dust than we had yesterday, but you will see it's very impressive.
And I heard it's also stepless transmission, huh? Hydrostatic drive?
It's a fully hydrostatic drive we have from 0 up to 40 kilometers an hour.
And then we have also the possibility on the steep slopes, we can work with the oil together to brake the machine to be also a bit more safe in the end.
Absolutely. You can brake the machine with the hydrostatic drive, so you don't have to use the mechanical brake, which makes it also comfortable, and you will have more safety.
But coming back a bit about Aebi, the history we heard in the beginning, there was one thing where Aebi started in the early beginnings, and this was probably, or I think, the single axle movers, no?
Exactly. Yeah. It's we have produced a lot of them. Actually, we have produced around 150,000 of those products in the last decades, and this one is the latest model we have. It's the CC 66 with 23 horsepower, and it's one of those machines you see in your holidays during your hiking sessions.
Yeah, perfect. So I think you have to explain me how to use this machine.
You want to have a try?
Yes, of course. Wait a second.
Yeah, just put on the cap. Then here you have the switch on for the engine. Then you just have the regulator for the engine speed. And then you can choose the gear in which you want to drive. Here is the speed lever, driving forward, backwards. And this one over here is to activate the attachment on the front. And that's basically all. Go on, have fun. Philip has a bright smile on his face, so he really enjoyed his mowing session with our CC. And with this, we will end our presentation of our short presentation about our products, and we'll hand over to Thomas Schiers for questions, if there are.
Thanks, Peter and Philip. Exhausted? No.
Yeah, it was fantastic. A long time, no mover in my hands, so it was something special.
Good. Let's see. Quite a few questions, certainly on the VT470, as this is interesting and new, of course. Obviously, there is one who knows the old model. Richard is asking, are the driving modes the same?
Yes, we still have the driving modes. Actually, we didn't spoke about that one. So we have this working mode, proportional mode, and the street mode. And all of them is also possible then with the Eco Drive to reduce also the fuel consumption. And this is same. In addition, we have then something else. So you can say like to program your mode with, for example, cut and collect. So you can, or with a Schmidt plow together. So you don't have to make a complete initialization of the implement, which is also a big benefit.
And in addition to that, sorry to interrupt, we have also a cruise control system newly introduced to the 470, which makes it easy to drive on the roads. It's a cruise control as you know it from your private car.
But Vario transmission is anyway more ecologically, right?
Yes, it is. So the benefit is you have the best things from two worlds. So you have one side mechanically, on the other side you're working with the oil, and the oil is always good for if you make reversing backward, forwards, for snow cleaning, for if you do the cutting in the grass. So you have really the best system from both worlds.
And you save on diesel.
Yes, a lot of diesel. So we speak for sure 10% we are saving also regarding the new emission we have on the machine.
Very good. I'll stay with the 470. Another one, a lady, Gina. I think that's a lady name, isn't it?
Yes.
Sounds female at least. Is the new operating system also available for older transporters?
Unfortunately not. So we are working here with the new design and the complete human interface of the machine, and this is completely different. So we cannot use the big display and the screen on the old machines, which are not old, they're still good, but it's just another human interface. So unfortunately, Gina, I'm sorry, this is not working.
Gina, where is the camera? Is it over there? Gina, you need to buy a new VT 470, then the problem is solved. So there is fine. Then we have Tony asking if the operating system can be updated online, or whether you have to stick it the traditional way.
You have several possibilities, but the most convenient solution you have is just to have a USB stick with the update file on it, and you just plug it into the screen and the update goes then automatically.
Thanks, Peter. Let's look for the MT questions. That's another one over here. Effortless acceleration. I think that's what you have been briefly presenting before. Does that work in snow as well?
Absolutely, yeah. We have all those differential locks, four-wheel drive, permanent four-wheel drive, and this will makes it easy to have also an effortless acceleration on snowy roads.
So you don't need to buy any chains anymore.
Depending on the conditions, but you will get farther without chains than before, yeah.
I see. Oh, now it's interesting. We have a Arvid, probably somewhere from Scandinavia, is asking in German. I'll try to translate that. Wie hoch ist die maximal mögliche Anhänge? Last time would be how big is the trailer payload?
For the MT, we have a trailer payload up to 7 tons. So we have a total load of the combination trailer and vehicle machine from up to 14.5 tons.
Another one comes from Gert. I think we had that guy this morning already for the sweeper presentation. He is working as he has obviously a reflector post washer with the old MT. Is the additional equipment from the old also working for new?
Yes, of course, this is everything possible. So you can see also on the backs here on the MT. So we have like still the counterplate size 3 or our own hook system what we have. So with the own parallelogram, and they're all compatible. So we can use the same equipment on the new MT and also on the old MT, so everything common. You can even put it on the VT 450, 470 and 450.
Pretty flexible. Anything goes. That's good to know. Looking to the time, we're coming to the end. One last question, perhaps. We have a Syntos mounted on the MT. Is a Schmidt CSP working as well?
Yes,
Sure.
of course, this works as well.
I would have known that question too. So, good. Peter, Philip, thanks a lot. Quite interesting how flexible you can work with these vehicles, machines, and with the equipment, what you can save, and how we can make your operations efficient. And in case you want to have more details, in case you want to know more, let it have you explained in detail. Aebi Schmidt is present in 17 countries as a known sales and service organization, and in a further 90 countries with long-term established partnerships. If you go on www.aebi-schmidt.com, put in your location, we're sure you get a contact close to you. The presentation which Peter and Philip just held will be made available for review online soon, in just a few days. And that brings us to the end. Perhaps we would love one last thing, by the way. How many CCs did we produce since we have brought the first one onto the market?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's 150,000 motor movers.
That's not bad, huh? And then we have the 20,000th transporter and the 15,000 Terra truck. So I think if one sells that many, he has to got something. And so we're looking forward to seeing you soon again. For the time being, we hope to see you again in half an hour. Then it's going to be about winter maintenance and the news and latest developments there. And for the rest, we wish a good rest of the day. Again, hope to see you soon, and goodbye.